Hello everyone. Today, I want to share a story about a family that was, well, incredibly complicated. It's a story filled with passionate love, intense jealousy, and a competition that lasted for decades. At the center of it all is a man named Jacob, the grandson of Abraham. Our story picks up when Jacob travels far from home to the house of his uncle. It was there that he met Rachel. The moment he saw her, it was electric. He was head over heels in love and decided right then, I have to marry this woman. Jacob was so committed that he agreed to work for his uncle for 7 years just for the hand of Rachel in marriage. But on the wedding night, things took a shocking turn. Following the custom of the time where the bride's face was heavily veiled, Laban pulled a fast one. Instead of Rachel, he gave Jacob her older sister, Leah. Imagine Jacob's shock the next morning. He woke up, looked over, and realized, wait, this isn't Rachel. He felt betrayed. But Laban calmly explained, in our culture, the older sister must marry first. But tell you what, you work for me for another 7 years, you can have Rachel too. And just like that, Jacob ended up married to 2 sisters. But here was the problem. Jacob's heart belonged entirely to Rachel. This left Leah feeling second best, lonely, and deeply unloved. However, the story tells us that God saw Leah's tears. He saw her pain and decided to comfort her by giving her children. Leah gave birth to 4 sons in a row: Reuben, Simeon, Levi. In Judah, every time a baby was born, Leah hoped, maybe now my husband will finally love me. She was so grateful to God for noticing her. Meanwhile, Rachel was heartbroken. She had the husband's love, but she couldn't have children. In that ancient society, this was a source of great shame. So she turned to a custom that was common back then, something like a surrogate arrangement today. She gave her maidservant, Bilhah, to Jacob so she could raise Bilhah's children as her own. Through Bilhah, 2 sons were born, Dan and Naphtali. Rachel was overjoyed, feeling like God had finally vindicated her. Seeing this, Leah started to panic. She didn't want to fall behind in this baby competition. So she gave her own maidservant, Zilpah, to Jacob. Zilpah then gave birth to 2 more sons, Gad and Asher. The nursery was getting crowded. But God wasn't finished with Leah yet. He opened her womb again, and she gave birth to 2 more sons, Issachar and Zebulun, and even a daughter named Dinah. Finally, after years of tears and waiting, God answered Rachel's deepest prayer. She gave birth to her first biological son, Joseph, and much later, her youngest son, Benjamin. And that is how Jacob ended up with 12 sons. Let's recap this massive family tree. From Leah, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. From Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. From Bilharakos made Dan and Naphtali. From Zilpleas made Gad and Asher. These 12 boys would eventually grow up to become the leaders of the 12 tribes of Israel. Can you imagine living in that house? The tension, the jealousy, the constant racing to be noticed. It sounds like a mess. But here is the amazing part. God took this mess and turned it into a miracle. He used this broken, complicated family to fulfill a massive plan for the whole world. Leah learned to hold on to God even when she felt unloved. Rachel learned the power of patience through her long wait. And even the children of the maidservants were given a seat at the table, proving that everyone had a vital role in God's big picture. The story of Jacob's family tells us something important today. Life can feel unfair. Our relationships can be full of conflict. We make mistakes, and others mistreat us. But none of that stops God from working. He can take our tears, our struggles, and even our complicated family trees and weave them into something beautiful. So, if you're going through a hard time or feeling overlooked like Leah, or waiting for a miracle like Rachel, remember this: your prayers are heard, and your journey isn't over. Just like Jacob's family, your life is part of a much bigger, much better story that God is writing. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we dive into the incredible adventures of the most famous son Joseph.